Alright, so welcome back to Studio B. So last week, this is what we talked about. There's a little bit recap of what we did last week. Sorry. So last week we made mention of variables. We said that a variable is a memory location in a computer program that stores data. We also talked about why we need variables, and then how do we declare our variables. We talked about the various naming conventions in declaring a variable. We talked about the Pascal notation, the camel case notation, the snake notation. We explained what the Pascal notation is. We also explained what the camel case notation is and then what the snake notation is. Today we are coming to combine all that we have learned so far together, because all that we have been learning is about the way or how we will declare our variable. So now that we have known them component by component, we are now coming to combine all the components together and make it one concept. The concept about declaring a variable. Alright, so let's move on. Declare all this. Okay. So declaring a variable. We are already, if we want to declare a variable, then there are some rules and conventions in declaring a variable. For that one, we are already aware of that. And then also, we also talked about when we need a variable. We said that we only need a variable when we want to access it. So when the user or when the programmer wants the user to enter something into the computer or into the program, then you should declare whatever the user will enter as a variable, so that the variable will hold whatever the person will enter. Okay, whatever data the person will enter into the program, that variable will hold that data. Okay, in principles of programming, when you are declaring your variable, you start with the keyword declare. You start with the keyword declare. Now, okay, so before I even move on to that, I think I even forgot a certain concept last week. So let's talk about that one before we move ahead to declaring a variable. Last week I had to let you know what keywords are. So when you say keywords anywhere, or when we talk about keywords or reserved words, you can also say reserved keywords. Both words can be used interchangeably. When we say keywords are predefined names, predefined variables that have been already embedded in the computer program. So the keywords are predefined words in the computer program that have been embedded. Okay, so those keywords, we can't use them as a variable. We can't use those keywords as our variable. So like this. Keywords or reserved words. As the name even implies, they are reserved words. So it means that they have been reserved by the computer program, so we can't use them as our variable. These keywords, we can say const is a keyword, constant is a keyword, if is a keyword, else is a keyword, switch is a keyword, and then you can also talk about module. These words have already been embedded in the computer program, so for that matter, we can't use them as a variable name. Okay, let me use the switch for example. Now, one thing that you should also consider is that whenever you are declaring a variable, the variable name, okay, the name must depict to its function that it will perform in the computer program. Let me put it in tree. So we declare variable. Edin or the variable. And what say edin no actually jumakra variable no ebedi program name. You get it? So assuming that I'm declaring a variable that will hold my height, I have to make the name or the variable name as height. So we declare integer height or declare real height, so that if you are watching, you will come back and read your own code and you will be lost. You will not understand why you use the height as the name. Why? So the moment you read and you see that, oh, here I use the word height, then it will tell you that, oh, okay, then this variable name was holding or is holding data about my height. You get it? So whenever you are declaring a variable or whenever you are naming your variable, you should make the variable name depict to the function that a variable name or the variable will be performing in the program. So the switch, we all know that switch is toggling on and off. Okay, so let's say you are writing a program that tells whether the light has been switched on or the light has been switched off. Okay, so you use boolean. So declare boolean switch. Okay, we said that boolean is true or false. So if it is switch, it is true. If it is not switch, which means false. So you say boolean switch equal to true. You get that? But here be the case, the switch person will be using. The switch is a reserved keyword. So for that matter, we can't use switch as a variable name. That's all about reserved keywords. So the reserved keywords are the predefined words in the computer program which have already been embedded. Okay, so for that matter, we can't use them as our variable names. There are plenty, but it's the few that I remember. The call, the if else switch model, case. You can also say case. Case is also a reserved keyword in the computer program. So you can't use these words as your variable name. Alright. So we move on to our today's topic. How do we declare our variable proper? When you declare your variable proper, I've already said that you first begin it with the key word declare. In the principles of computer programming, you start with declare. Then from the declare, you come to the data type, the type of data that the variable will be. Then you move on to the variable name. Okay, so assuming that I want to declare a variable called age, I will start with the keyword declare. Oops. Declare. Then after the declare, then I come to the data type. So what will be my data type? Declare, because it is age. We don't have a human being who is 5.5 years old, who is 15.5 years old. So for that matter, you can make it an integer data type because the integer will take whole numbers. Okay, assuming we are writing a program that will accept the person's height. For the height, we know that you have some people who are 5.6 feet, 6.7 feet, 5.4 feet, and so on and so forth. So far as there is point in it, it's advisable to use the real data type. But here be the case that we are talking about the person's age, and because it is age, which is a whole number, it means that we need to use integer data type. So declare, then you move ahead to the data type being an integer. Declare integer. Then you come to the variable name, the name that you want to give to the variable. So the variable name will be age. Okay, so this is how we declare our variable. We start with the declare and the data type and the variable name. So declare integer age. Now, what does this even mean? When we came to level 100, or when you came to level 100, you had your course reps. They will come and stand in front of the class, and then they will declare their intention to be a course rep. The same thing goes here. This is telling the program that, or this is telling the computer that this integer is telling the computer that, hey, I'm coming to declare a variable being this, but let the variable be an integer data type. That's what you are trying to mean. You are telling the computer that, hey, I'm coming to declare a variable, but the type of this variable as the age must be integer. Okay, so the type of this variable must be an integer, which means that the computer should allow the variable to hold only whole numbers, not decimal values. So you have declared this age variable as an integer, meaning that you should hold only whole numbers. Okay, so when you want to declare a string, which is a series of characters, the same way, declare string name. So this to you are telling the computer that, hey, I'm declaring a variable called name, but make the name a string data type. So this is the declare. The string is a data type, and then the name is the variable. Okay, the same way, if I want to declare a variable that will hold a floating point or decimal numbers, I go by the name declare real height. So the height, okay, it means that the rel will let you or will allow you to declare a variable that will contain either whole numbers or a floating point numbers, okay. And then if you want boolean, declare boolean decision. Let's say decision. Okay, so the true or false values, and then declare char, that's a character, single value, declare char alphabet. Let's say alphabet. Okay. So all these, this being the variable, the alphabet is our variable. Let's say we are writing A B C D, so the alphabet will take A. Okay. Data type, and then the alphabet becomes our variable name. Boolean is a data type, the decision becomes our variable name. The rel is the data type, the height becomes the variable name. The string is the data type, and then the name becomes the variable name. Integer is the data type, the age becomes our variable name. In the case where the variable name consists of two words, then you apply those notations. So let's say here alphabet, you want to make it my alphabet, okay. It's either you bring your underscore, that is the snake notation, or you make it a Pascal naming notation, my, then the alphabet too becomes capital, my alphabet. Or you can make it a camel case notation, my alphabet becomes this, my alphabet becomes this, okay. That is in the case where the variable name consists of two words. That is where you use those various notation. So this is how we declare our variable. We go by the declare keyword, and then the data type as integer, and then the age as the variable name, or declare the data type as string, and then the name as a variable name here. Declare rel, that's the data type, and then the height becomes the variable name. Declare declare boolean as the data type, and then the decision becomes the variable name. Declare char as the data type, and then my alphabet becomes the variable name. So this is how we declare our variable. Now we move ahead to variable initialization or uninitialized variable. Variable initialization. Variable initialization. Okay, variable initialization. When we say variable initialization or variable assignment, it is just a matter of giving your variable a value, okay. So you give the variable a value, all right. So we use an operator called assignment operator. In principles or in computer programming, this equal to sign is called assignment operator. We use that to assign a value to the variable. You get it? We use this equal to as assignment operator to assign a value to the variable. So if I want to assign a value to the age, assuming the person's age is 18, you just write age is equal to 18. For that, it means that you have saved this 18 into this variable called age. So wherever we write our program and see age, it means that when we print, we will see 18. So we have stored this inside this variable. That's why we said that the variable is like a container that stores data. You get that? So we store this 18. The value at the right hand side will be stored in the value at the left hand side. That is what it means. So age is equal to 18 means that wherever, if you're writing our program and then we print age. Wherever we will print the age, we will see 18 there. Okay, and then the real as in height, you can see height is equal to 5.6. Numlock 5.6. Okay, that is height. Okay, so here it means that we have assigned 5.6 here being the real. That means you can take both whole or floating point numbers, whole numbers and floating point numbers. So height is equal to 5.6 means that wherever we will print height in our computer program, we should see 5.6. So how to assign a value to a variable? We use the assignment operator, or what we already know as the equal to assign the value to it. So this value has been assigned into this. Mind you, it is this value that has been assigned into this value that has been assigned into this. It is this value that has been assigned into this, not this value that have been assigned into this. Typically in your multiple choice questions, that's your OBJ, it can trick you with this. So this value is being put inside this value, not this being put inside this. 18 is being put inside age, not age being put inside 18. So by using the assignment operator, you can even say declare integer age is equal to 18, declare real height is equal to 5.6. So that is all about initializing your variable. When you initialize your variable, it means that you are giving your variable a value. At this state where we haven't given our variable a value, that is what we term as uninitialized variable. So the variable initialization or initialized variable is what is giving your variable an initial value. So variable initialization is all about or assigning a value to your variable. To your variable. That is a variable initialization. So when I write declare integer age, it means that I have stored this age value inside this variable. When I write declare real height equal to 5.6, it means that I have given this variable height a value 5.6. So wherever I'll print height, if we are writing it in an actual computer program, if you are writing it in a C++ where you need an IDE like code blocks or the dev C++, then you can see that when you print height, you will see the 5.6 there. Alright, so that is all about variable initialization. Okay, let's move on to uninitialized variable. Uninitialized variable. Okay, so the uninitialized variable is a variable without any value assigned to it. So these are uninitialized variables. So these variables have no value assigned to it. So these are the uninitialized variable. A variable with no value, it means that we haven't assigned any value to the variable. And when it comes to the variable initialization, is where we have assigned a value to a variable. That is our variable initialization. Okay, now when do we need to initialize our variable, and when don't we have to initialize our variable? Take note, when do we have to assign a value to our variable, and when don't we have to assign a value to our variable? We only assign a value to our variable when we don't want the user to type any value apart from the value that we have given to the variable. You get it? So if I give this variable declare integer age equal to 18, whenever the user prints age, it will give him 18. It will not change. Whenever the user will print age, it will give him 18. So it is constant. Declare row height. Whenever the person prints height, you will see 5.6. You will see 5.6. That is it. It means that we haven't passed. We have restricted the user that your age consistently and persistently should be 18. Your height consistently should be 5.6. That is the one disadvantage. So assuming that you are writing a program for the public to be entering their age and stuff, and you have initialized the age to be 18, whatever the person will enter will not be allowed except 18. Do you get it? So advisably, we don't usually initialize our variables. You leave it to the public, or you leave it to the user for the user to enter his age or anything that the person wants to enter. Okay, now before I even come to the uninitialized variable, I only talked about the real and then the integer data types, and then how we pass now the character or the char and then the string. It's a little bit dicey when you are passing a value to a string data type or a character data type. Now, initializing a string and then a char. When you are passing a value to a string data type, we said that the string takes series of characters or combination of characters. So assuming that I declare string name. Okay, because I have made it a string data type, then I should, if I am assigning a value to it, I should put it in a quotation mark, and the quotation mark should be double quotation mark 2, because you said that the string data type holds 2 or more characters. So if we are assigning a value to it, we should put the value in a double quotation mark. So my name being Jude, if I'm assigning Jude to the variable called name, then I put it in a double quote like this, Jude. You get it? So if declare string town, if I'm passing a value to my town, I'm from Ebra, so I type ABIRA in double quotes, I close it. That is how we pass a value to a variable. That is how we pass a value to a string data type. That is how we pass a value to a string data type. Now let's come to a char data type. We said that the char takes a single character, so we only go with declare char alphabet equal to, so we write the alphabet with a single quote, so a single quote like this, and then we just either y, we just put y there, or I'm just going to copy this, paste it here. Alphabet is equal to, let me use letter because I've already used the alphabet. Letter is equal to, let's say, J. So the string takes double quotes, okay, and then the alphabet takes a single quote. The string takes two or more alphabets, and then a char takes a single alphabet or a single character or a single letter. So that is how we pass value to our variable. So to demonstrate this proper in an actual computer language like C++, that we have an IDE already installed on the computer, let's go and practice that, where we will assign a value to a variable, then we print the variable to see the value that we have put inside that particular variable. Okay, so we move on to code blocks. I have my code blocks here. I declare my variable. Compare this and that. Okay, you see, with the same step, just that in an actual computer program you don't write declare. Okay, and the integer too is spelled as int in a computer, in actual computer programming. The string is string, alright. The real is real, or boolean is boolean, alright. The char is char, alright. So now let's only talk about the string and the char. So let's say the integer as well. So assuming that I'm declaring a variable string, name is equal to Jude. Please don't worry yourself about this language too much. Okay, we will treat plus next semester. We will treat it next semester. But for now, I just want to demonstrate that the string name is equal to Jude. That is how the data type comes, the variable name, and then the value that we have assigned to a particular variable. See out. My name is. Then I write this variable here, the variable name here. My name is name. So when I run this program, you will see that my name is here. The name, this Jude, will be assigned into this value, so it will read my name is Jude. Let's build and compile this and see. It's running. All right, so you see here, my name is Jude. You see, I have passed this Jude inside this variable. So wherever I see the variable here, wherever I print this name, I will see the Jude inside it. That's why we said that the variable is like a container that stores data, or a memory location, a computer program that stores data. So it is stored inside this variable called name. The same way, if I want to pass a value like integer value, I go by int. Let's say number is equal to, because it's an integer, it's a number, we don't put in a quotation mark. So int number is equal to 25. Okay, see out. I am number years old. All right, so here the 25 will be stored inside this number. So where I have printed the number, we will see it as 25. Oh, I've had an error. Okay, see out. My name is this name, and number go 25. All right. I didn't terminate this. Programming is not anybody's friend. It can punish you anytime that it feels like, with just this single termination. All right, so my name is Jude. I am 25 years old. Now you can see it here. So the number being this, I have stored this 25 inside this number. You get it? That is all that I've been trying to explain since I started this tutorial. Okay, so if you pass a value if you pass a value to a variable, it means that wherever you print this variable, you will see this value. Wherever you print this variable, you will see this value. That is all that I'm trying to explain. Alright, so we come to the end of this lecture. Please, I hope you find this video useful. Take your time, read your material that the lecturer has already given to you, back the material with this video, and you start getting the concept fully in principles of computer programming. All the programming languages were built from these principles of computer programming. Okay, so if you fail to grab this concept, being a programmer will be a bit difficult for you. So I will entreat you all to take your time, read the principles of computer programming book. When I came to level 100, like I always say, I didn't know anything about what a variable is, what a data type is, what is this, what is that. I didn't know anything about that. I just took that material that you are reading this semester. I took that and I started reading small bit by bit, and then now I'm here. So I can assure you that by reading the material the lecturer has given to you people, definitely you also get there. You also be boastful and say that at least you can print hello world in, like, just say 5 or 6 computer languages. Alright, so we come to the end of the vocabulary. Next week we'll be talking about a decision structure, the if-else statement, and then the switch case. Okay, so next week please make it a time with us. Alright, so please, I will beg you to share the video to your colleagues who are also offering IT, and like and subscribe too. Thank you.